Hello everyone, this is the WarHoundz podcast, episode number 6. I'd like to welcome my fellow host, clan leader and WarHoundz founder, Yeche.
Oh yeah, what's up guys, Yeche. Oh yeah.
Community manager, Tubbsy.
What's going on?
Our content manager, Leadhead.
How's it going, everybody?
Our guest tonight will be Osiris.
Hey, people.
And me being the achievement whore, Blades. WarHoundz is a gaming community founded by Yeche and started to find good people to play Gears of War 3. However, we have since expanded to several games and game types, but our primary game is and will likely always be Gears 3. If you like what you hear and would like to join us, please visit www.warhoundz.net, register and apply. We don't care how well you play, but how well you play with others. With that, I'm passing it off to our content manager and facilitator this week, Leadhead. It's all yours.
Alrighty, the first topic that I would like to bring to attention, we probably won't spend too much time on it, but the legitimate Jurassic Park that Australian billionaire wants to do, you know, I don't think it's a really cool idea, but that's just a lot of money to bring reptiles back from the dead, I think. But
Oh,
you know,
who cares?
I was just really shocked to find out. Well, not so much shocked, but I was surprised. I'm like, someone's actually gonna pursue this when they know what could happen if they don't keep like a really tight grip on it.
I think he just watched like the good parts of the movie and just missed the whole point of the movie. Because like everybody's running for their lives because you can't control these dinosaurs.
He watched the first 10 minutes and said, "This is a good idea."
This is a fabulous idea.
Well, yeah, on top of that, too, he's going off of the same science that was built to clone the sheep. A dinosaur is a lot more, just...
Don't ruin my dreams.
One, it's a lot older. It's not more recent of an animal. So you have, all that history that... What are you going to pull it off of? Just, the DNA that's entrapped in, one of the rocks or whatever?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a larger scale of something to clone.
And the thing is that you can clone a sheep because you have a living specimen to have that DNA pattern with.
Right.
With dinosaurs, you don't have that. I mean, sure, well, maybe there's a mosquito buried underneath the mantle of the earth, and you can dig it out and extract the DNA if it was preserved in amber, so to speak. But I don't think it's... I mean, it's like... It's... Oh, what did they call that? I don't know, but it's... I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, he's also trying to... He wants to build a 21st century replica of the Titanic, too, which is... whatever
I
about
thought that was really funny. You know, they threw that in at the end of the video. I hadn't known about that, but I'd laugh if he does either one. I mean, I highly doubt he's going to succeed in cloning dinosaurs and make a real-life Jurassic Park. But hey, you never know.
Well,
Maybe
I don't think
happen.
we'll see it in our lifetime. Because humanity will probably, screw each other over by that time.
Right.
But I thought it was, when I saw that on the headline of the video, I was like, there's no fucking way this is happening. And sure enough, they have a legitimate, they have a legitimate article about it. The man even talked about it. I'm just like, well, all right, go ahead. Have fun.
What? Oh yeah, I'm lost. You know what they say for things like this? You say he's rich and he's gonna blow all his money, man. You gotta go YOLO. Let's build a dinosaur park.
Oh my God, not YOLO.
YOLO.
I went to Lollapalooza and they were making leather wristbands, and literally a guy in front of me made YOLO. I just wanted to smack him.
Damn. Should've did it. Put it on YouTube.
See, what you should have done is smacked him and then said, "YOLO."
YOLO. YOLO live once. Bitch slapped.
Alrighty. Well, I'm pretty sure that's all we have to say on that. The next thing I'd like to talk about, and we did talk about this a little bit in our first podcast, although I think it was actually cut out. It's about Nintendo and what they're doing to appeal to their 90s customers, which is most of us. I was going through one of my Game Informer magazines, and they were talking about how they presented themselves at E3 with the Wii U and Nintendo Land and the new Super Mario Bros., which is apparently the first Mario game that's in HD. And I just don't think... their software is impressive and their hardware is okay, but it's not appealing you have a lot more hardcore gamers out there now, and it is okay if you want to appeal to a children's market. That's okay, but the majority of your customers are from the 90s when you had the Game Boy with The Legend of Zelda and the N64. But what I think they're doing is that they're really falling behind from Microsoft and Sony, who are like the juggernauts of the hardcore gaming industry. And I just don't think that they're going to succeed from getting out of this hole that they got themselves into with these kind of like family-oriented gaming systems. And I want to hand it off to whoever wants to comment on that.
Okay, I'll comment. Frankly, I feel, at least in the console market, they've separated. Like I feel like they've just kind of taken their own chunk. They've separated themselves from Microsoft and Sony. They're not even trying. It doesn't seem like they're trying anymore, and they shouldn't, because they won't win.
Well, see, they've been looking more into their handheld gaming.
See, but even that was going to be my next point. Even the handheld market is shifting a lot to, like the smartphones, the tablets, tablet gaming, all that type of stuff, and
PlayStation Vita.
It's shown. Well, no.
See, PlayStation
Vita is
failing on the
bombing.
mobile market.
It is one of the worst selling handhelds ever.
The Vita?
It's bombing. Yeah.
It has such a crazy price tag too, which I couldn't get over. But go on.
So that's where I was going to kind of go with it. Is even the handheld market is shifting. People are wanting less and less of a dedicated handheld. I mean, I think the 3DS is still doing pretty good, but it's obviously that's shifting, and that's where Nintendo's dominant. So that's kind of unfortunate for them, and I don't know what that means for their future. And then of course, like I said with the consoles, I think they're done. I really do. I think they're just separating their own little niche market. And
well,
that's all I have.
They're trying to appeal to hardcore gamers, like with, I think Mass Effect 3 is going to be on the Wii U or something.
See, but it's not a good tactic because
everybody's already played it.
Exactly.
On the Xbox and PS3.
They just want the people who haven't gone out and bought Xboxes and PlayStation 3s, which basically are mainly kids and families and parents. And
yeah.
Darksiders 2 is also a launch title for the Wii U, which I don't really get. I'll talk about that later, though.
You and Darksiders.
Wait till next Monday or next Sunday when we discuss the games coming out next on Tuesday, which is Sleeping Dogs and Darksiders 2. So we'll touch on that a lot on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'll probably be posting some gameplay. And I'm sure Leadhead will be posting some gameplay from Darksiders 2.
Is Sleeping Dogs coming out for the PC?
I don't know.
I think so.
I can tell you in a second. I'll be right back.
If it is...
I was looking at it, I was like, man, there's no multiplayer, so that's kind of a letdown.
Yeah, that's probably a renter. That's not going to be a purchase.
A renter.
Oh, maybe big.
We got a red box, yeah.
Oh, red box. I still go to Family Video, man. That shit's still around.
Go to Video King. What else?
Video King.
It's in here somewhere.
It's a rental store.
I said take a drink. We've got this thing going. We're talking about maybe doing a podcast and having a few drinks while we're doing it. And we're going to do it like every time Leadhead mentions Darksiders, we got to take a drink.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
or
yeah.
Flux.
Or anytime someone says, oh, yeah.
Like Yetche does.
Or Yetche talks in a funny voice.
Yeah.
Or Flux talks over somebody. Just something kind of goofy, kind of fun. Something maybe to throw something out there different for you guys. But if I say that, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
So it was an inside joke, but you guys are all inside it too now.
Jumping back to our Nintendo topic, with the Wii U, they presented that last year, and then they had nothing to, like anything extra to present to anyone this year at E3. They basically said, "Hey, we still have the same crap we showed you last year, so let's just show you and not really show you how it integrates with games more than just, an extra inventory screen for Zelda, or you can use it as a TV by itself." It's like that's not the main selling point.
You came up with a use for it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Weren't you the one that said it? You said, if I figured out something you could actually use for,
you can instead of pausing it when you have to go to take a crap, you can go to the bathroom with it in your hands, and you'll never have to stop playing video games.
That's what I'm
That was
talking
my
about.
use for it.
well, here's the thing that I don't get about it. Okay, so you have this device most likely on your side, unless someone else is sitting there with it in their hand. Like, let's say you're playing Legend of Zelda and you want to manage your inventory. Okay, what's the difference between pressing the start button and managing your inventory to putting down the game controller and then going through your inventory on the Wii U?
No. See, the game controller is that whole giant, or like it could be that whole giant screen
It is.
thing.
It's got 2 joysticks on the sides of it, and then the buttons.
So like
That's your controller.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're using a separate controller to put it down to pick up a different controller and use your inventory. You're still holding the same controller, but instead you have a screen with your inventory. Instead of pressing start, you can quick touch, oh, I need to switch to my bow and arrow. So instead of hitting pause, moving around to your bow and arrow, you just touch it, and there you go, it's equipped.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I'm
that's
sure that
helpful and all, but Xbox is basically taking that to the next level and said, hey, we know everyone already has tablets. We know everyone already has smartphones. And if not, you're going to really want to get one, because with what they did with Madden 13 coming out, you can change, like, you have your playbook in your lap on your smartphone, your tablet, whatever you're using.
But to be fair,
And
that does have the inconvenience that Led had just mentioned about having to then put down your controller and pick up your smartphone or tablet or whatever you got.
Right.
I mean,
with
what's the difference? I don't know. That's just...
Well, it's instead of picking your play on the screen, I see the benefit in that is you can usually see, unless you hit like a button to hide your play picking. Well, this one you can pick the play, and you can like reroute which way you want your receivers to go.
Oh yeah.
So it's very helpful, and it's a nice tool. I don't see it as being completely practical without, sitting with your tablet on the table in front of you picking plays.
What they essentially did was they gave the Xbox a touchscreen without actually having to make you buy a separate unit for it, which is ingenious. Everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody's got a tablet.
That's that smart glass technology, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have that big, hunky, bulky controller in front of you, which is bigger than a tablet or a smartphone. So, and it's just, making it easier for us.
Well, when you hold a controller, you want to hold a controller. You want to hold a fucking, like, tablet. Like, I don't like playing handheld games a whole lot because the weird shape of them, it hurts your thumbs after a while. Like,
Yeah.
I can't hold one comfortably because my hands are bigger than the handheld.
Yeah, I just think the way they make the controllers, like specifically the Xbox controller, because that's the only control I've used since I got an Xbox. It just fits in your hand real well. It doesn't really cause you any fatigue or soreness.
Really good job with that
they
design of that.
Actually,
PlayStation's
go on.
looking for people. They're asking for more designs for their controllers for the next generation of PlayStation. But after using the Xbox controller, I just don't know that PlayStation could make one that could compare to it.
It's perfect. It just fits in your hand. The analog sticks are exactly where they need to be, and the buttons they're fine. And it was kind of funny. I'm gonna touch on a couple things more on this, but I was looking in the Game Informer magazine for August when they talked about it, and Nintendo has a traditional alternative for controllers, and basically they look exactly like Xbox controllers, except that the analog sticks are up on top, like where you have like the left analog stick on the Xbox controller. You take the right one, you put that where the X, Y, A, B buttons are, and they put the X, Y, A, B buttons down where the right thumbstick controller would be, and that's basically what it is. All they did was flip the right stick with the input buttons. That's all they did.
They reversed a PlayStation controller.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
but yeah, well, I mean,
Instead of your thumbs being up low on the controller, now they're up high.
That would. I don't know if that would feel
Which is a
comfortable to
lot
me.
more uncomfortable because I like
you have to
moving my
stick your
thumb
thumbs out
upward.
forward more because you have two analog sticks up on the front of the controller now versus
Well,
just
that and when you play games, you know, to hit buttons, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be something you really have to get used to. Moving your thumb down to hit X, A, B, Y, rather than moving it up to hit it.
I actually kind of wonder if that was like a proprietary or a patent issue or something. Like, you know, they couldn't copy it exactly because Microsoft's controller is like that.
Probably.
Yeah,
Something
but I
along
don't know
those
how you make
lines.
something any better than the PlayStation or the Xbox controllers because they're
know how.
excellent. I don't know how you're gonna do it.
You
Unless
make
they're gonna stick something in your back of your head and your mind becomes a controller. like
Yeah,
your
that's what I was
legitimate
gonna
mind.
say. Yeah.
Enter the
Control the
Matrix.
games with your mind.
Yeah.
Matrix.
But and the other thing that I noticed and what the writer in the magazine said is that they made Nintendo World. They really put a lot of faith on that to be their selling point for their new console. And I'm just like, oh man, there's no way that this version of I don't even know what it is. It just, basically all your Mii can go on different things. I don't know how this is gonna sell your platform.
Wait, what's
So-
Nintendo World all about?
It's like a hub where you can have like a bunch of.
It's
Miis.
basically PlayStation Home.
Yeah, I was trying to think of
I
what
don't
that
know
was
what that
called.
is
It's
either.
called.
Basically, like where your Mii is, you go hang out in a section with each other, and it's an Xbox Live party chat, but saying your avatars are all grouped together.
Yeah, it's almost like you're in like an MMO sort of setting, like in like World of
Yeah.
Warcraft. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's-
but not
it's
with all
pointless.
the World of. Yeah.
There's
And
plenty of games like that on PC.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amiibo.
Well, Nintendo's always had fucked up controllers.
Right.
Look at the 64. You have 3. You never used the D-pad,
64.
so why they even added that on there was just stupid.
Yeah.
I hated like the
Hey.
random obscure games that actually did use it. So
The
you-
wrestling games did a lot.
yeah, the wrestling games did. So
we use
so
the
you had to use
D-pad
the
every
D-pad.
day.
Dude, it looks like an awkward sex toy. That thing.
You know that N64 controller. When I had to rotate, I've actually. I think there was like a certain sequence in a game where I had to rotate that stick, for whatever reason, and I would spin it so fast that it would twist my skin off, and I'd have like a big ass blister on my hand from rotating that damn stick.
You know what it probably
Dude,
was?
Same
Mario
thing with
Party.
the GameCube controller, which looks like a piece of Lego if you ask me, but I like it though.
That sequence was probably you playing Mario 64, spinning Bowser in circles.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna go Mario Party. Half those mini games required you to totally spin it clockwise and counterclockwise as fast as you
and
could.
yeah, you have to do so fast, and then you have like this big exposed, like it hurts really bad too.
You get like calluses on your hands from the
Yeah.
joystick.
Yeah, which is why I'm glad they put
Rubber on
these
it.
rubber sticks on, so you don't you'll wear out the stick before your hand. But and one more quick thing, and then we'll go on to other topic. We mentioned the handheld market. I think Nintendo. I didn't.
Releases too many.
No,
They're
I think that they
overloading
should
it.
stay. They should stay in the handheld market because when Sony released the PlayStation or PSP as years ago, I'm like, how is this thing gonna measure up to the Game Boy, which was the primary handheld that every adolescent and child had in the 90s and early 2000s? I'm like, well, how are they gonna, make this work? And it's sold, and I actually got one because they had a game that I really wanted, and I got that for that particular game. However sad that is, but I'm thinking, with the Wii, there was a lot of hype about it, and the only reason why I want it is for the next Super Smash Bros. Game, which is the only reason I will ever get a Nintendo platform is just to play that Smash Bros. Game. But I won't get the Wii U for it. But I'm like, okay, so they're gonna go with this console, but I really think they should stick to the handheld market because that's where they're strong at. I don't think that going. And I understand the competition of trying to put your console out there, but I think your handheld will definitely do a better job than putting out this strange hardware that they want to sell.
Well, that's where their graphics are at.
See,
They don't make anything fantastic for the Wii. It all looks like crappier 64, like
it looks like
updated 64.
90s stuff.
And with those types of games, it fits for a handheld more than a platform. Because you look at what PlayStation and Xbox has done with all their cinematics, it doesn't compete.
Nope. I guess
Osiris, you're gonna say something?
yeah, I was just gonna say
Maybe.
I agree with you, Led, about keeping it, like staying in the handheld market, try to keep dominating that. But I mean, like I said, with a lot of people moving away from dedicated handhelds, I mean, it's tough to say where they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, and their biggest thing was, it was always they refused to embrace online multiplayer, which is where everything's going now.
Right.
It's so much funner to play a game with your friends.
Well, you have so much replay value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can play for hours and hours and hours on end.
They're stuck in the past.
And, yeah. Well, you got to enter that 16-digit number and get it from
your friend code. Yeah, that's stupid shit.
Forget
So
it.
gay.
Right. Well, I think that just about. Hold on. There was something I laughed about. Yeah. It was Nintendo Land. Is that what I called it before? I'm not sure if I did.
You call it Nintendo Land.
World, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to read this. I just wanted to read this quick, like 2 sentences from this magazine, and then we can go on to other topics. But they're talking about how when Nintendo presented this on the showroom floor with the Wii U and Nintendo Land, and they said, "We hope that Nintendo wouldn't end its presser with a game this basic, which is why we were excited when Reggie said, 'One last thing before you leave.' When that one last thing turned into another quick look at Nintendo Land, it was made painfully apparent that the publisher was going all in with this one. And that's why I said they were really putting all their chips on this Nintendo Land. And it's not gonna drive the market for people to buy it. And I just wanted to read that quick 2 sentences there about that. But by the way, Yeche Sleeping Dogs is not coming out for PC according to the release date.
What?
So.
But it says it's coming for Steam. I could pre-order it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just looking in the magazine and it doesn't say anything about PC. But
You're gonna pay for something?
I got in. No, hell no. I'm just saying it was coming out
I could
for
pre-order
PC.
it and then pirate it.
Yeah, I got a free.
That's
game
all I
here.
use my. Well, that's where the PSP came in handy because I ended up putting Nintendo emulators on it, so it became a walking Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
How did you manage to do that?
Custom
you can
firmware.
mod it. You can.
How do you?
You can mod it very easily.
Yeah.
How do you
it's a
mod a
soft-
PSP?
That's what you can do to the Wii. It's a soft mod.
The greatest
All it
thing.
is you download firmware.
The greatest thing about that is the whole thing that broke that open was somebody sent their PSP into Sony to get it fixed, and they left what they called the magic memory stick at that time, which had all the recovery files on it. Sony left it in that person's PSP.
Ooh, really? That's how it happened?
That's how it happened.
I missed the whole
why
thing.
they got hacked.
Oh, whatever. I'll listen to. Oh, okay. That's all right. All right. Well, that about covers our long discussion about why Nintendo.
I want to bring up.
Oh, what's up?
Before we run out of time.
Well, we're only 22 minutes in.
Well,
You're
20
gonna
minutes
bring
on
up
Nintendo.
Osiris?
Yeah.
No, Cyrus. I don't. Did you watch that? The Curiosity landing on Mars. I think it was Sunday
I wasn't
night.
able to catch it live, but I've looked at I've looked at the stories and the pictures and all that.
That was history in the making. I just happened to check my Twitter, and all these people were posting about the rover, the Curiosity landing, and I was like, "Whoa, this is very cool." I don't know. Do you guys know much about it?
Flux sent me an article yesterday, and it didn't tell me anything about
I looked
it.
at the picture.
That's about all I
It
got.
was
Yeah. That's like, oh, that's cool.
something they never even tried it, but they came up with it. They for this thing to land on Mars, they had to parachute it in, and then when it got to a certain place, it would shoot out wires, and they kind of like bungee it in to land. And it's something that they couldn't really try because they would have to go outside of the Earth's atmosphere just to test it.
Right.
So they figured it out, did the math. They did it with helicopters or planes or stuff like that, and then they trying to just get it as close as they could. And so they didn't know if it was going to work, and it did end up working. And there's some pictures floating around. It's going to collect. It's going to be out on Mars for a couple years. But it can be out there for a lot longer because it's got nuclear power, some nuclear battery or something. So it's like self-sufficient.
that'll last a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can,
Don't we have the Mars
like
Land
50
Rover though
years.
on there already?
Yeah, that's what I got confused about. I'm like, didn't thing like land out there a couple years back? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no? But this new one, that's way cool. That's a very high tech. It's going to be able to get them soil samples, and they're going to be looking for if it could handle, or if it has been able to handle life forms in the past.
I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, all of us will be lonks instead. But I won't be surprised if the human race survives, that we'll eventually colonize Mars and we'll have people.
I'll be taking a vacation on Mars when I'm 40.
Dude, it's gonna be Starship Troopers all over again.
That's just gonna happen.
I was gonna say, don't tell me when I'm gonna die.
You won't be alive.
It's gonna be like Total Recall, buddy. There's gonna be 3 boob girls walking all over the place.
It's gonna be Starship Troopers.
I like that.
That's my envision of getting on Mars.
The more the merrier.
Giant
I like that
spider bug thing.
How about 7?
All right.
AJ?
Hate spiders. No,
what's in the
seven's a
box?
lucky number. I like that.
13 is a lucky
seven
number.
boobed girls.
7 boobed. How would you? That would be like. Oh, it'd be like that boss from God of War 2 that has like 20,000 tits on her.
Oh God.
Yeah. that was
everything
so
in that was just the funniest stuff in those games.
Yeah,
There's
just
boobs
all the
everywhere.
women and the tits.
I always called them herpes. What, harpies?
Yeah, the harpies, those little screeching
the little flying things. Every single one of them had, a pair of boobs on it, and you're just sitting there like ripping their wings off, like, yeah, it's nothing.
It's not like Kratos would violate that harpy with his penis or anything, or would he? You never know with Kratos, man. He'll just. Anyways, we'll get on to gaming topics, most of which Jitchi will probably spend about 20 seconds on. So I guess we're going to start off with. We didn't discuss music in games, did we? I don't think we did.
No, we haven't.
All right, well then we'll discuss that. I think. Like, this is a very lightly discussed topic because people are more focused on gameplay and their enjoyment in it. But I think, especially in games like Asura's Wrath, the music is definitely worth listening to. And my favorite track, personally, from any video game, and it's a long list of them, but I have to say there was a track from Devil May Cry 4, where you're fighting this giant statue that's modeled after Sparta, which is one of the legendary demons in the lore of the game. And there's like this really crazy Latin choir pipe organ like techno mix. It is just like one of the most epic pieces of music I've heard up until Asura's Wrath. But I think that in recent years I really appreciated that the amount of work that goes into putting music in games. And that's really all I have to say about that. I mean, I can go down some other games that I like music in, like Darksiders. Devil May Cry has some, the older Devil May Cries. Gears of War has some nice music too with the
Mad World.
Yeah, Mad World, and even the main menu theme from Gears of War 2. I like that with the drums and the silent bells, like the very subtle bells. I like that a lot. It's just really, it makes me feel like I'm like in this underground like hellhole, and it like something just waiting.
Multiplayer sure is a hellhole.
Yeah, on that game. Anyways, I guess I'll hand up to
Sponging
someone else. I guess we'll go
bullets.
with whoever.
Dude, I know one that everybody, well, almost everybody knows. The every time you got in a fight on Final Fantasy VII,
yes,
like that's still like stuck in your head. But
and so on.
yeah,
What?
No, you're talking about the initial, like when you run into somebody and it just goes.
yeah.
I like the boss battle music in that game. Like not just like a regular boss battle where it has like that like that theme. I like that a lot.
And one that Blades and I have been playing quite a bit recently, Missplosion Man, has some hilarious tracks on it, dude. Mandy is, I'll link it in that thing.
Mandy's
it is
fantastic.
So funny, dude.
Well,
And
and
you
it's
see
did you hear the song when you if you press start and you go down to cheat on the game to switch the checkpoints?
Yeah.
It plays some song that's talking about badonkadonk. It's like badonkadonk. It's hilarious.
It's
I'll send you that link too.
Speaking of, I like Eyes on Me from Final Fantasy VIII. I don't know if you know what that song is. I thought that was a great lyrical piece of music. It's called Eyes on Me. It's from Final Fantasy VIII. I don't know if any of you know what that is.
I might if I listen to it.
Yeah, probably if I heard it.
Actually, I'll just link the Missplosion Man site because you can actually download the music from them for free. Everybody likes free stuff, so.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna steal that free stuff, so I can't get it from there.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if like one day you just disappear and then we all say you're in Guantanamo Bay eating a cock meat sandwich or whatever dinner you like.
They got better fish to fry than people that steal like $20,000 worth of Photoshop software.
Then nice of you to admit that on the internet. But anyways, Osiris, do you have any preferred musical tracks from any games you can recall?
Well, pretty much any of the Zelda tracks. Really any of them. But I mean, I did like Skyward Sword's soundtrack a lot. None in particular. I don't know the names of the songs. Honestly, I don't have the soundtrack in front of me. But I like that, and then I got to throw out a shout out to Mega Man 2's Dr. Wily Level 1 and 2.
You son of a bitch.
Damn.
There's a lot of music. I think Mega Man X6 was my first game that actually really took notice to the music. The Blaze Heatnik stage had like the best track I've ever heard, and the final boss battle with Sigma, that thing was just fucking amazing.
And actually, you did remind me also Storm Eagle from Mega Man X. I love that one.
Son of a bitch. You're ruining my whole section here. Damn you for liking the games I like.
Just ruining like your whole Portal train they had a couple podcasts ago. Everyone was just naming Valve games, and you're just like, son of a bitch. Take them right.
I do remember the one. It was the Cave Johnson one when I just chimed in before it was his turn. I'm like, by the way,
who thought it was a good idea to give Cave Johnson lemons?
Dude, Cave Johnson, he's my hero.
Does he count as gaming music?
No.
Yeah,
he's gaming.
I don't know. He's commentary.
Dialogue.
I know. I was kidding.
Yeah,
I bet
dialogue,
that
commentary. I don't know. It's fantastic.
It's dialogue.
Flex has that soundboard, dude. Have you guys heard the soundboard?
Yeah, dude, he played it on Xbox like that whole night after we talked about it.
Yes. He just kept playing it over and over and over again. It was so funny.
And I dare ask Getche. Oh, I'm sorry, Tubbsy.
Oh, I was just going to quote his thing, but that was funny.
I dare ask Getche if he has any favorite music from some of the video games that he's played.
The Amazing Katamari. I don't know it, but I love the music of that game.
Katamari.
You know what else? Patapon had like the best tempo.
That game sucked.
Oh,
Patapon.
You're right. That was so damn catchy.
I'm so glad Yeche mentioned Katamari because it made me think like a rhythm game. It reminded me of Patapon. That game, I was like my friend I was up in New York with him and he brought that with him. I'm like, let me try this game. It's like bum 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 bum. It was just so
I remember
so endearing.
trying it, and
so
then
cute.
I had it stuck in my head for like 3 days straight. I'd just be like working or something. I'd just be like pata. God damn it.
Yeah. All right,
well,
I guess
one of the game songs that definitely sticks in my head that you've already raped away from me is definitely the Mega Man 2 Dr. Wily Stage 1. There's a link for that one. Mega Man has had, I think, the best like soundtrack. Like when I think of video game music and like stuff that I remember from video games, is I remember those level just by listening to the music, I could tell you what boss like level it was. But I really like those. And then I don't know if you guys ever played it, Splatterhouse.
No.
I remember that game. I never played it, but
yeah, it's kind of weird. It wasn't really hyped up at all. But all it is run through the level. It's just a button masher. All you do is pretty much hit X and Y like through the whole thing. But it's all blood and guts, and like you put on this mask and you're all beefed up and whatever. But it has a lot of known metal tracks in there. Like they put Five Finger Death Punch in there, and I believe Mastodon is in there as well. But I like metal in video game music because that just seems to mesh very well.
a peer of mine at my campus who won't be there this semester, he ruined Five Finger Death Punch for me because he would play it every fucking day, and I couldn't stand it.
Oh, I can ruin it even more. Just
no.
give me about
I do
10
like
minutes of your time.
I do like Succubus from their War is the Answer album, I think is what's called, or it's called Hate Me. It has two names. It's Succubus and Hate Me, I think.
The song's called Succubus. It was actually bonus tracked on the first one, and then they retracked it and re-released it on War is the Answer.
I like that song a lot. It's just really aggressive and all that. But anyways,
the solo in the first track was pretty kind of like lame and boring, and then they pepped it up a bit.
Yeah, I really like the solo in that song. All right, so
are we a music podcast or a gaming podcast?
Well, it's music and games.
Music and gaming, so suck it.
And Baldy went like on there for a little while, but
he went on like a flux tangent here.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was about to type
I went
on
on a flux tangent.
Drink.
Yeah.
Drinking game.
Better take a drink for that one.
I was actually about to type in the chat box. I'm like, we have 2 more topics to cover, and we're 35 minutes in since we started. But anyways.
Oh wait, I gotta do one, guys, for you real quick.
Okay, what's
I don't know
up?
if you can pick this up.
Very nice.
Tubbsy? Where'd he go? I can't hear him. Tubbsy.
Right.
Back
oh,
to
there
the
you are.
light. Oh, what are you doing?
You disappeared.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, since you're yelling at me about music, I'm gonna plug music anyways.
No,
if
don't
you
do that.
like video game music, and if you like metal as well, I would check out Power Glove, because they the first 2 CDs they've tracked music. They've done Tetris, Mute City from F-Zero X. Also, that's one of my other favorites. That's a very good song. But they did some Final Fantasy songs. They do Mario. They do Duck Hunt, which I was kind of like Duck Hunt had music, but
that's music, just ducks.
But Power Glove is good. And then I just recently found they're called The Megas, and they do they basically took all the music from Mega Man 2, and they're releasing a CD, or I think they've released the first part of the CD of Mega Man 3, and what they're doing is the lyrics are from the boss's point of view. So like Airman, it's Airman's level music, and he's talking as though he is Airman talking to like how he wants to take out Mega Man and whatnot.
Okay, so in short, check out the Megas. Moving on.
Power Glove.
Yeah, well, we'll move on to our next topic. Or I got about 20 minutes left or so.
Is there anything from Tubbsy or?
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to
just
say something
failed?
about a song, or
Yeah,
I don't know.
well, it's actually I have in my collection, my music collection, a cover done by Real Big Fish. They actually did the Mario Brothers theme, but I can't seem to find it on YouTube, and that is probably the most well-known song.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. you could tone that down in the editing.
That's as close as I'm gonna get to a ska version of Mario, but there you go.
All right, well then,
these will all be linked in the description of the podcast, just so you guys know. So you don't have to. You can go back and look when you get a free few minutes of your time or whatever. They'll all be there.
all right, moving on to the second to last topic. Favorite boss or bosses, of course you may have more than one. I mean, we probably have, if we dig deep in our heads, we can probably pull out like just like a big long list of just bosses that we like fighting. But a couple off the top of my head, some of them are actually from Final Fantasy games. I know the one that the one I can recall that I loved the most was Evray from Final Fantasy X. It's just like this big giant worm that you fought on an airship, and I think Final Fantasy X was my first actual Final Fantasy game that I played and beat.
That's where my disc froze. Was on the airship on that boss battle.
Yeah, I love that. I love that boss battle, and also the true. I hate the true final boss in Asura's Wrath, and the actual final boss Well, the final boss before you go fight the true final boss in Asura's Wrath, both of them, you fight Vlitra and you fight the Creator. And the Creator boss fight is just incredible. I mean, that fight had my palms sweating because those quick time events are just so brutal, and just that whole fight that you have between Asura and the Creator is just absolutely awesome, and it has a really heartbreaking but very endearing ending. Also, who else? I'd have to say War Ravager in Borderlands after he got me trapped with Skagzilla. And, I made a commitment to kill him.
I wish I had a capture card for that. That was amazing.
I was so pissed.
So mad.
Yeah, I tried killing that thing, and I never got a chance to shoot it in the mouth because I was afraid its hyper beam attack would just kill me in one shot.
That was awesome.
Who else? Probably Ultimecia from Final Fantasy VIII was another boss I like to fight, and
oh yeah,
that's all I can recall off the top of my head. Huh? Ultimecia?
Yeah, I was just saying that was awesome.
Yeah, so that's all I can recall off the top of my. Oh, and
you're skipping the best Final Fantasy, man.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And the Abyssal Knight from Darksiders, I think he was actually harder than any other enemy in the game, and he was such a bastard jumping around and shit. Anyways,
take a drink. Drink up. Take a drink. All right.
All right.
Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth was like the best villain of like almost any video game.
Which version?
Well, he was always the same person. He was always still Sephiroth. I mean, even though he had
he had Genova represent him.
Yeah, Genova. That's what it was. I knew it was
that and Bizarro Sephiroth.
Yeah, well, they were all Sephiroth. I mean, that was, and then like that part, like quarter of the way into the game when he kills Ares and.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, not like the whole gaming.
Like
man, I was gonna buy this game too, man. You gotta spoil it. You gotta spoil it. It was
it's actually one of the very like most video.
Oh, they're releasing it for PC, but then again, Yeche doesn't play single player.
Well, I'll play it if it's free.
If it's free.
It's free.
Yeche, you're more Jewish than Jews.
No,
I knew some little Jewish. I knew a couple little Jewish girls that would sell roses down the street every holiday. I go down there.
Are you a Puerto Rican Jew?
Yeah. Actually, no. They were Spanish. They're Spanish. They're Spanish Jews.
They're Spanish Jews.
I'm like, what?
That JJ's kind of lady.
I was like, no way.
And Portal, the Gladys, and Portal 2, both of them Wheatley at the end. Both were just fun.
Gabe.
It was like the only time you actually had to fight somebody, because the rest of the time I was trying to manipulate around them or make them fall through a hole. And then God of War, like any boss battle in God of War was just
I did
so much fun. It was just fun.
Probably that Leviathan battle in the first one. I like that one a lot. I mean, like just that one head just comes out of nowhere. It's like, rah! And then it's like, holy shit.
Gore, like, and then he's cutting off their heads and shoving it down their throats or in their ass or whatever. It was awesome. They were all awesome.
They were
great.
And the hardest. Two more for me. Then I'll be done with this. But
Slut.
But the AI in Split Second. Oh, they are the hardest freaking artificial intelligence I ever played against. I mean, no matter how fast your car is, they will always be faster than you. They will just pass you out like nothing. And they are just so. Like they're not really considered a boss, but they're hard enough to, in my book, to be considered like a bitch. And also, God damn it, I lost it. Someone mentioned.
Oh yeah.
No, I forget the second one.
Well,
it'll come back to me.
Burnout.
No.
I love Burnout.
Need for Speed.
No, I'm
Dude,
trying to
you know
remember
what was
now.
really hard? That boss on Madden NFL. Terrible.
Oh yeah.
NBA Jam, buddy.
Oh, what the hell?
Well, there actually is on the newer ones. There is boss battles.
Oh yeah.
You have to face the legends, which like you play
team.
like Pippin and Rodman and yeah.
I'm too scared to download this game, man.
Which one?
Amnesia. I'm just looking at
You gonna get
screenshots
it?
and shit. I'm pondering it right now. It looks
You gonna
scary.
get it?
I don't want to download it and have something pop out on my screen right now as soon as I hit click download.
No, I won't do anything.
Because that's
I
how
don't
it
know if I
works.
could handle that. I couldn't handle Slender Man. I couldn't. No.
Is that game free?
Amnesia's worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
Slenderman
Slenderman's
is free.
free.
Slender's
Okay.
free.
Slender
couldn't
is
do it.
free.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Amnesia's-
screaming and like, no.
I
no
was
thanks.
done after I was screaming, Warriors, come out. And he's right
that,
behind me.
that first video you popped up, you know, you're talking like Batman throughout the entire video, and that just I was like, oh my god, is he gonna?
No,
and you finally stopped
until
after
he
you got your.
scared. When he got scared, then he was, oh my god, what was that?
Yeah, he
and then
started
it went-
talking normal, and I'm like, oh, thank God, just
Scared the shit out
doing
of
that
him.
Batman.
That was the best one.
All right, so that takes
Amnesia,
care.
I think.
No, that doesn't take care. We missed 3 of us.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
No, not that subject. I meant, I don't know.
Yeah.
I meant to move on to the
Osiris,
next
what's your
person.
bus bad?
Okay. Favorite bosses, or boss battles, I guess. Mass Effect 1, I enjoyed the fight with Saren or Sovereign or whatever you want to refer to him as at that
Saren
point.
right there.
I mean, technically Saren's body, but taken over by Sovereign. I also liked Trinex in A Link to the Past. That was the Turtle Rock boss. You know, the ice head and the fire head and the middle head. Anyone remember that if they played the game?
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
that. Now that you bring it up, yeah.
And from Chrono Trigger, Lavos or however you pronounce his name was awesome.
That's an amazing game right there.
Am I having
Yeah,
audio
we lose Tubbsy?
difficulties?
No, you're fine.
No, Tubbsy's extremely quiet.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh,
wondering
yeah.
if
Well,
like I couldn't
It'll
hear
pick it
anybody.
up. It'll pick it up.
There you go.
But
Getche, boss
Chrono
battle.
Trigger, that's a
Boss
classic.
battle. Oh, boss
Yeah,
battle. We're
I-
talking about boss battles. Oh.
It's boss time.
Oh, there's this really
it's
one
like
boss
a
battle
boss.
I remember on the Super Nintendo, and I couldn't stand it.
Like
Maybe it was on
Single
Nintendo
player.
64. I think it was
Master
Donkey
Hand.
Kong. It was Donkey Kong. Oh yeah, I hated going against the giant bee,
Cruel.
the giant
Oh,
bee.
yeah.
bee, I hated
Yeah,
that thing.
Oh, I hated the giant bee so much.
I hated all those levels. Those bees were in such inconvenient places.
Yeah, yeah, like they inconvenient places, and the stinger's always up my ass. That's what's up. I hated that crap, man.
Just how you like it.
No, like you'd be going across the barrels and stuff. It's like, yeah, I got this, and then your guy starts spin. He stopped spinning. He stopped. Wait, no, even if you were spinning, you'd die by a bee, right?
Yeah, you had to hit him with a barrel
Yeah,
to like
that,
get rid of him.
that crap was so. That music's engraved in my head.
Back to music and gaming.
Because restarting over and over again, you go get your free lives at the spawn, your balloons.
Great, now Donkey Kong's stuck in my head.
Balloons.
I love that game so much.
Yeah, I kind of want to play it right now.
Just for the music.
I love
Um,
Cranky Kong. Was it Cranky Kong?
Yes.
Cranky,
Old guy? Yeah, Cranky Kong. You get the little spinner out.
Who was the surfer
The
one?
big long arms.
Wasn't that one introduced in 3? I don't remember
Cool
his name,
Kong
but he
or
was
whatever?
like,
I don't
I think it was Cool Kong.
That might
Like
have been
something like not original. It was just like he's cool.
Oh, that
No, they need more.
Cool because he wears sunglasses and a backwards
Oh,
hat.
hey, did you guys ever play Conker's Bad Fur Day?
yes.
The great
It reminded me
mighty
of that,
Pooh.
Dude, the end of that game was just phenomenal. The
You-
whole Matrix scene, that was awesome.
That
I
whole
loved
game
it.
was just
You
done
know,
so
I
well.
did-
That whole game was so much fun.
You know, I debated on getting, and actually, this is going to get into our last topic, Conquer
Well,
Live and
let's,
Reload
Like
for
a
the original
boss.
Xbox.
I played that one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you did, the cool thing is that you can still play it on, or no, you can't because they stopped
Yeah,
doing
they shut
that.
down the original Xbox servers.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, but I actually thought about getting that game, and you obviously can't get it new because the game's what, like 10 years old, if that.
Right.
But I thought about getting it off eBay, but they're like freaking a little bit more money than I want to spend. But maybe I'll get one of these days because I just it's class based, and I like the way they did that, and so some of the humor is pretty good too. Like when you have you're the guy with the bazooka going into his berserk mode. He has some really funny dialogue, and it really made me laugh a lot. But
jumping back to the bosses because you skipped me.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did.
Well, we didn't quite skip you. I didn't say next time.
I'm gonna agree with the God of War bosses, but favorite out of all of those, Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. I would definitely have to say between Zeus and Hades. I can't really talk about Zeus because that'd be big time spoiler, and I don't want to be a jackass like that. But
you're gonna
Zeus
make
was
Jake cry.
fantastic. That was just getting to fight him was just so rewarding, and Hades was pretty cool. Being able to rip him apart and all the excess.
I thought his weapon was cool. I never played the game, but I thought it was really neat.
Yes. But yeah, pretty much. I think that covers me for bosses.
Just God of War?
I can think of offhand. Currently. I had more, but I forgot.
I know. Are we good?
I think we're
Yeah,
good.
I think so.
All right. Well, I did want
anything extra.
I didn't call. I can't recall the one that I wanted to include with the split second, but the last boss in Prototype, he is the biggest douche to kill because there's only one way to actually do a reasonable amount of damage to him is to jump in the air and to come down with your blade and hit him with a power attack. And that's the only feasible way I could think to damage him. If you're trying to get into a helicopter, he'll just throw like a soldier or a jet at you, and then he'll knock you out, and then that's just a pain in the ass. So then that concludes.
The sad part is that a lot of these single player games don't have boss battles in them. They're going more for the whole total experience of, like Red Dead Redemption. I haven't gotten to the end yet, but I don't know if there's going to be a boss battle. There hasn't been any mini bosses or anything.
Well, the thing about there kind of is. I mean, not in the traditional sense of a boss where it has like a health meter. I genuinely consider like a primary person of interest. Like, for example, Bill Williamson. I consider him sort of an important target character, or if you want to call him a boss, but that's kind of stretching it because it's not. You shoot him in the head and he's dead. It's not like he has a health bar and he has like a certain elemental weakness or a certain weapon weakness or whatever. But all right, well,
I just was saying it's too bad that they're getting away from it because we have a lot of good memories of bosses. Even Yeche, who chimes in every once in a while, but actually got in and started talking about something. But on to the next topic.
Something that we've all
had experiences with boss battles, even if it was something like Donkey Kong.
Right. I can't recall that one other boss, but it doesn't matter now. All right, our last one, and hopefully we won't spend. This is a big one because we have to really go back in our memories. But the last topic I have for us today is gaming pastimes. Not necessarily games you've played in like the past, since like early 2000s, but like in the 90s when video gaming kind of took off with the SNES and the PlayStation and the Game Boy and the N64. Kind of like or early game industry games that we played as young adults and children. I'll start off. My list goes pretty much every Pokemon game. Well, except for the third generation Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. I played the hell out of. I had Red and Yellow for Game Boy. I had Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
No Blue?
No, I never got Blue. My mother just went out one night and got me like this whole Game Boy set. It came with Pokemon Red and the Pokemon Red game guide and the Game Boy and all that cool stuff. So I got that. Both Pokemon Stadium games, Star Fox 64, Super Smash Brothers, Rain of Fire for the GameCube. That is probably one of my top 10 games of all time. It's a really simple game. It's like a third-person shooter and a flight simulator, but I just have a lot of fun playing that. What else? There was Super Smash Bros. Melee, the second one. Mega Man X6. Even though a lot of people don't like that, I thought it was my entry to the Mega Man series, and I really like that game a lot. And Crash Team Racing, the Mario Kart version of Crash Bandicoot, I played I play that game for like hours and hours and hours on end, and that about does it for me off the top of my head. I mean, just so we'll hand off to someone else then.
All right. Well, my childhood was spent playing a lot of Super Nintendo, N64, and definitely my Game Boy. Pokemon. I remember. I had red. All my friends had blue, so I would be the one they would call to trade Pokemon with. I had a neighborhood friend that I mean we hung out all the time, playing Pokemon, battling our Pokemon, duping our Pokemon, duping Mew. I remember that in particular. Let me see what else. What other games? A lot of Mega Man with my brother. Honestly, he probably played more of it when we were kids than I just kind of sat there and watched. But whatever, made me love Mega Man. Zelda, all the Zelda games. Link to the Past especially. I loved that game. Still do. And I don't know, Super Mario 64. Star Wars, what was it? Shadow of the Empire or something for N64.
Yeah, I love the snow speeder level of that game. That part just made me so happy. I love the
I remember that game.
Sequence.
Hold up, I remember the sewer level on that game.
Oh god, the sewer level was impossible.
Yeah, you go down in the water or something. And,
I hated that level.
Water.
Hated it.
Scary, man. I hated it.
But I did beat the game. I did.
Giant tentacle monster.
I remember one thing in particular from that game. It was like a cheat of some sort, or like an Easter egg. I don't know exactly what it would be, but you were able to take over enemies and control them with the D-pad, and go and shoot. So like I don't remember which level it was, but there was a Yeti on it or something like that. And take control of him and just start killing all the soldiers.
Yeah.
And then run your guy through untouched. I loved it. Well, I don't know. That wraps it up for me, really. So, next up.
I want to hear Yeche's
I can't remember any
pastimes.
Nintendo 64 games I ever beat because I never beat them because I never took the time to beat them because they're too hard.
Single player.
Doesn't have to be necessarily something you beat.
Harvest.
Yeah, just
Was
games
it called
that you
Harvest?
remember.
Body Harvest? I played like 10 minutes of that when I was 10. I turned it off because I was too scared. What else have I played that I was too scared to finish? Right there, one you were talking about, Osiris, the sewer level did it for me. I was like, When I was like 10 or 11, I just turned it off. Didn't play the rest of it. Donkey Kong was a bitch. Donkey Kong 64.
I've got to ask really quick, was anyone else scared of that water monster thing in Super Mario 64? Like the big like snake?
Super Mario 64.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
Privilege of playing that, unfortunately.
No, I borrowed Super Mario 64 and I had someone else's save file, so I just kind of played around in the game.
I was a renter back then. I had to rent all my games. I had like 3 games I owned.
So did we.
Yeah, that was a dealio right there. Renting all the games.
That was where you'd go out, rent it for like 2 nights, and
yeah, for $5, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous, and then you'd stay up like for that entire 2 nights trying to beat it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I guess that's why I never finished a lot of my games too, is because I spent like 2 nights trying to beat it right there, and if I couldn't beat it in 2 nights, I never saw it again.
Oh. Well, then now you have $60 games that you can buy, or use GameFly, which is okay.
That's a good thing.
PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Free to play, all the time.
Yeah, Tribes Ascended, Team Fortress, and so on.
And any other game Yeche can find that he doesn't have to pay for.
Damn straight. Damn straight. And then you got Battlefront for the PS2. The PS2 Battlefront.
Oh yeah,
that's what got me on
game
my
was...
kick for multiplayer.
I
that
never played
was...
that. I wish I had.
They were so great.
Dude, it was fun as hell. Yoda was like,
yeah, you could still get
hell.
Battlefront. You can get both Battlefront and Battlefront 2 for Xbox.
Didn't they take the Game
current
Spy
gen
servers
Xbox
down?
Oh no, but you can still play the game on the current Xbox, but you can't play multiplayer. I remember playing multiplayer on the first Battlefront because I never got to play it, and it was just annoying.
So great. I remember my first experience on the mic when I was like 12. I sounded like I was 20 when I was 12, and there's this random like 30-year-old screaming Star Fox in the microphone, and my parents are staring at me. He's like, Star Fox, Star Fox. Dun, dun, dun. scared me. But yeah,
you know, I think when you first put on a gaming headset, like for me, when I got my Xbox in 2007, you know, just talking to another person who's not in your neighborhood, I just kind of felt like that was just such a strange feeling, but it was really neat. But then you learn as you stay on that a lot of people are trolls and so on and so forth. Anyways, Tubbsy? Gaming pastimes.
You guys are like pushing my memory to the max here because I'm freaking old.
Yeah.
Well, I can quick go and then come back to you if you want to think of something.
Yeah, do it. You go ahead.
Mega Man games.
Yes, Mega Man 2, religiously. Me and both my brothers played the hell out of that, and I think I said before, my oldest brother, who's 34, still to this day remembers the passcode to get all the power-ups and all the weapons and stuff, and straight to Dr. Wily's castle. With that, we played a lot of Super Nintendo, a lot of regular Nintendo. I played the hell out of Duck Hunt, and the one I remember the most is Track and Field, because we actually had the power pad where you like ran on the two little buttons, and you even did the like the hurdles and everything. The long jump was the best because you would run real fast and you jump off of the pad, and then you waited till before he fell over and you stepped on it so he'd land. But yeah, a lot of Nintendo, a lot of Super Nintendo. Road Rash 64 was a lot of another one.
Any of the
Beating
Road
the hell
Rash
out of
games.
each other off of motorcycles with pool sticks. I loved the fact that you could stick them in the tires and automatically make them crash, because I did that I don't know how many times. But yeah, that's about it for me, Tubbsy.
Well, I remember a lot of games. I think the very first one I had was like a Sega Master System. We had like Ghostbusters and Alex Kidd and these games that you guys probably don't even know about. And then Nintendo, I remember, you know, Mario, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!,
Love that
Ninja
game.
Gaiden. Yes, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Was awesome.
I still play it to this day.
I've got a game like it on my phone that's just phenomenal, and I got it for free, and I love it. There's just so many that I've had the chance to grow up as games grew up, so to say. So you guys, when you guys were born, these things were around for a while. But I actually watched it. I mean, I remember back when like the 8-bit Atari with E.T. coming out, and like it was horrible, dude. So you could do better stuff on Minecraft with just the original graphics of Minecraft, and just use like the wool, and you would still have better textures, and you would actually have textures. And Star Wars on Atari, Tron.
Dude, Spider-Man was a bitch to play on Atari.
Dude, all that stuff was. But the best games on Atari were the games where you played against your buddy on like a little race car. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but they had like the grid that went around, and you had to like try and dodge each other, but you were trying to hit each other at the same time to kill each other. It wasn't Tron. It had a different name because Atari had different name. Pitfall. Oh my God.
Pitfall.
How many hours did I lose on that game? Oh man, so many. Yeah, tons of games. Don't want to go off on a tangent here because we're about out of time. So
we hit over the hour, but that's okay.
I got a quick couple things. I was fortunate enough. I went to Lollapalooza on last Saturday, and I went into the PlayStation tent. And they had all like an entire like poker table set up with chargers and PlayStation Vitas and a bunch of PlayStation set up. I ended up getting into the corner. They had PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, basically Smash Brothers with PlayStation exclusive characters. And so I actually got in there and I got to play the game. And it is very, very balanced. There's nobody that's actually... I need to close this thing, otherwise I'm going to get distracted. Damn you guys.
It was funny.
But yeah, like it's very balanced. Like no one character is like phenomenally better than the other.
Mewtwo.
Like I played as Kratos. Go figure. And he's able to use like the lion fists and the big ass hammer he has and
This.
And what?
Cestus? Did you mention that?
Huh? Did I mention what?
The Cestus, those awesome gauntlets he gets?
Yeah, that's the lion head gauntlet things.
Yeah.
I used him, and actually the kids I played with weren't all that fantastic. I got 10 kills, and it was on a 2-minute timer, and the next kill was like, the guy had like 4, and then the other one were like -3 and -4. But yeah, the game was like Parappa the Rapper throws like some blue thing that slows you down ridiculously and basically puts you in slow-mo and lets him move at normal speed. But yeah, it was definitely a great game, along with just I don't know, the controls of it are pretty simple. It's it's the normal 3 different attack buttons and whatnot. But yes, it was very, very, very well done for being basically a rip-off of Super Smash Brothers.
You gonna buy a PS3 for it?
I have a PS3 already, so I definitely will be getting that. But
I was gonna buy.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go on. Finish up.
There was a kid that was actually. This was a nice way of seeing the integration, firsthand. There was a kid. They only had 3 controllers really set up. The kid wasn't facing the TV. He had his back up against the wall, and he was playing on the Vita. And he was playing us, so he had his own screen with the controller. Basically, kind of how the Wii U is. It's like it's a better advancement towards it because it's a smaller controller and it's a PlayStation Portable, so
it's like in your face.
Yeah. So, but that was actually pretty cool to see him not even looking at the screen, and then playing the same game with us. So, I would say if you're not gonna buy a PS3, buy a Vita.
I'll buy a griddle.
Go. I'm hoping they kind of integrate that with online play, because then you can play on your Vita through the internet on someone else's, like on their PS3.
Cross-platform.
Yes, cross-platform. And I didn't sleep with anyone to get to Lollapalooza.
It was just a side effect.
Yes, this was one of the nice little typed questions from Tubbsy. No, I didn't sleep with anyone. My friend, who is a friend of Anna, my ex-girlfriend, Zach had volunteered as a team leader, so they get 2 free passes for Lollapalooza for all 3 days. So Anna got one and I got one, so I went with him and his girlfriend, and it was me and Anna who went to Lollapalooza. And that was the day that we had the really bad fucking thunderstorm, and from 3:30 they evacuated the entire park for Lollapalooza and just didn't tell us to go anywhere. But yeah, enough about that BS.
Yeah. I did want to quickly mention, I did mention Rain of Fire in my gaming pastimes, and that game, when you play the dragon missions, it has like this kind of like tribal drum beat to it and like maracas. It just sounds really cool. I've actually debated on buying another GameCube and recording the game with just the music and put up music tracks on YouTube and then downloading them for myself. So I just wanted to put that in there. But anyways, that about wraps up our 6th episode of the WarHoundz podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening, and you can catch us next week when we discuss next Tuesday's release games that are going to be released, which include Darksiders 2 and Sleeping Dogs. So you can look forward to that probably next Monday or Tuesday. Thanks for listening.
Yay!